Hi everybody, good to see you again. My name's Ciara Clark and these are my colleagues Sarah, Ed and Daryl. And we're going to do a practice today about how to kind of calm your body down by using soothing touch. We're all very interested in self-compassion and we're trying to teach ourselves to be more compassionate towards ourselves and others as well. So this is for anybody who sometimes finds themselves being a bit hard on themselves and getting a bit stressed out. These are very practical strategies to kind of help you out when you're having a rough time. So with the first slide, so compassion, it's not just an idea. It's not just a woolly, oh, it's great to be compassionate. It's actually real. And when we practice compassion, we feel the effects of it on our bodies physiologically. And when we can soothe our own pain, we tap into what's called mammalian caregiving, a mammalian caregiving system, because we're all mammals at the end of the day, and we respond to that type of caregiving. And research has shown that actually when we give ourselves compassionate touch, whether that's a hand on the heart or a hand on the face or one hand on another hand, it actually releases oxytocin and increases feelings of trust, calm, safety, generosity, and connectedness. So it's a really easy way to soothe and comfort yourself when you're having a tough time. It's a bit like giving yourself a gentle hug, feeling the warmth in your hand. Now, it's going to feel really awkward. We're all from, well, some of us are from Northern Ireland, people here today are, and, we're not used to doing this. It's, and it will feel awkward, maybe even a bit embarrassing, but your body doesn't know the difference. So if you put your hand on your heart or rub the side of your arm, your body will react to it physiologically, and it doesn't matter whether you feel awkward or weird about it or not. So, and we know that self-criticism triggers the opposite of feelings of calm and trust. It triggers the amygdala, part of your brain, the fight-flight response, which was really, really handy when we lived in dangerous times, hundreds of years ago, when the world was a scary place. We don't need it as much now. The world isn't just as dangerous, but unfortunately, when we get stressed, our body goes straight to fight-flight, sets off all the chemical reactions. So compassion is a way to kind of stop that physiological expression happening, or calm it down, turn the volume down a bit on it. We know that generating feelings of compassion decreases the stress hormone cortisol. And when we do soothe ourselves, when we're able to self-soothe, we can change our mental and emotional experience and change our body chemistry. So it's worth doing. It's free of charge. It doesn't take any time. You can literally do it anytime and anywhere. So some examples of soothing touch. So you can see there, that's a wee baby's feet. Baby massage. We know that baby massage, any kind of massage, you can see there's a more adult back there being massaged. It's not just about releasing the muscles and the knots and the tension. It's actually about soothing touch, just being touched skin to skin. You can see there a daddy with the newborn baby. We know that skin to skin is really good for babies. It regulates their heart rate. If there's, babies that are born prematurely, skin to skin can really help them to develop. And it's good for us adults as well. And you can see there a hand massage. We know that people really respond well to even something as simple as a hand massage, having their hand rubbed. So soothing touch is used, and Sarah, we were chatting about other forms of soothing touch. You were mentioning pets as well.
Absolutely. I do find that really therapeutic and very soothing. Yeah. And I know some of the children I've worked with as well would find, stroking a dog or tending to chickens or whatever it might be can be really, really regulating of their nervous system. But I know for me personally, I find that really, really helpful.
I remember a time I was really ill with pneumonia a few years ago, and my lungs were really, really painful, and being to hospital, and I was really, really, really not well. And Tom was sitting beside me on the sofa, couldn't sleep, and he just was rubbing my arm just as a thing. And it actually soothed the pain in my lungs. I'd never experienced that before. We're doing that affected the pain in my lungs. So we know that it can help physical pain, but it can also help emotions as well. It's physiological.
Absolutely.
So we're going to, can't remember the other slide. So soothing touch, it really is just a physical gesture of warmth and care. So if you do put your hand on your heart, you give your arm a rub, or you fold your arms, just hold yourself. It's just focusing on the feeling of warmth that comes from your hand, and imagining bring in those feelings that you might have towards somebody that you really love. So it's like a warm hug, a hand on your heart, stroking your arm, touching your face, even rocking your body is really, really soothing. And it's a gesture that conveys feelings of love, tenderness, and care. And let's face it, we could all do with that. And it's something you can do at any time of the day when you're just feeling a bit stressed out or you're going through something difficult. So we're going to practice. I think the next slide is us practicing. Yep. So we're going to do a practice. I'm going to do a bit of a mix. So this is a really good book here. Kristen Neff and Chris Germer's The Mindful Self-Compassion Workbook. You have it as well, don't you, sir?
Yes.
And all these practices are in there if you want to give them a go. So the one that I really like is affectionate breathing, and I was going to incorporate some soothing touch into it. So just want everybody to, if you can, get a posture that makes you feel comfortable and feel supported. If you're sitting in a chair or you're lying down, just helping your body to feel comfortable. It's only going to be for about 10 minutes or so. And just let your eyes gently close, either partially or fully, and take a few slow and easy breaths. And if you can, just sort of releasing any unnecessary tension that might be in your body. You might have had a busy day up until now. So it's just connecting with your body, feeling your feet on the floor, bum in the seat, back in the chair, and just maybe saying a gentle hello to yourself. Chance to connect with you amongst all the busyness and the chatter that goes on. And just beginning to notice your breathing in your body. Just feeling your body breathe in and breathe out. And maybe just slowing your breathing down a little bit. Making your breaths deeper and longer. And just noticing how your body is nourished on the in-breath. And all that lovely oxygen in, all those cells in your body. And noticing how your body relaxes with the out-breath. And you're just letting your body breathe you. There's nothing you need to do. I am being breathed. Just feeling the natural rhythm of your breathing as it flows in and out. And maybe giving it the same attention that you would give to somebody that you really loved. And your mind will naturally wander if you're a human being. Not to worry about that. When that happens, just gently returning your mind back to your breath. No chastising yourself for not being good at this. This is what the mind does. And every time you notice your mind wandering off and bringing it back, that's you doing this the right way. Just feeling your whole body subtly moving with the breath. A bit like the movement of the sea as the tide goes out and in. Allowing your whole body to be gently rocked and caressed by your breathing. It's like an internal caress. And maybe if it's okay, just doing a little experiment and practicing some soothing touch. You might want to put one hand or two hands on your heart, or you might want to put a hand on your abdomen, on your tummy, or maybe you want to put one hand on your cheek, or cradle your hands in your, cradle your face in your hands, or you could stroke your arm. Just notice how that feels. Or sometimes a good one is to cross your arms and just give yourself a wee bit of a squeeze. But just doing whatever feels right to you. And practicing those and noticing the feeling, the warmth of your hand on your body. Just finding one that feels right for you at this minute. And if you can, just bring in those feelings of warmth and kindness that you would have for somebody that you really love and care about. So whether that's a child, a family member, a dear friend, pet, someone that you have really warm feelings about, and bringing those feelings to yourself through soothing touch. Just allowing yourself to enjoy that feeling. Noticing what happens to your breath. Just breathing. There's nothing else to do. Your body's being nourished by the breath. Nourished on the in-breath and relaxing on the out-breath. Allowing yourself to feel the feelings of warmth and compassion and deep care, just like you would for someone that you really loved. And as we're coming to the end of the practice, just really slowly and gently releasing your attention from your breathing. Just give yourself a minute to sit quietly in your own experience and allow yourself to feel whatever it is that you're feeling and to be just as you are. And whenever you're ready, slowly and gently opening your eyes and coming back to your surroundings. And you can keep your hand wherever you had it. And what was that like for people? Did anyone find a soothing touch position that felt warm and caring and relaxing?
Absolutely.
Ed and Darrell, you're still on mute.
Not now. Kara, I think I really needed that today, because I had a tough time, family bereavement yesterday.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Ed.
And I don't think, and I said this in our last session, you don't take time. And when I got the invite to join you today, I thought, yeah, I really need that. Now, what was interesting, it's making the time, the deliberate effort to do it. But I noticed, as my mind wandered, and I loved how you said that's normal, it will, but every time it wandered, I could feel my breathing become more rapid and shallow. And that gentle reminder to slow it down. And the other thing, and I did, and this is maybe a variation of that soothing touch. Peter Levine talks about this, hand on the armpit and hand on the shoulder, and a self-hug. But it's, when I was doing that, it was like the body was a container. It had all my feelings. and emotions and thoughts, and it was helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. And Ed, it doesn't take any extra time really when you think about it. If you're feeling like you need a bit of support, that doesn't take any time, does it?
No, as you said, it's in your back pocket. You've got it with you 24/7. You can do that at any point, anytime. And I love that bit. Put your hand on your heart, because you can feel it beating as you're breathing. But it was helpful. Thank you.
Absolutely. I really liked the length of time, Kira, actually today that we spent breathing. So normally in some sessions we would do a little bit of breathing at the beginning, of course, and grounding yourself, but actually today it felt like actually that was a lot of the focus of the session initially. And whenever you talked about almost that sensation, it felt at times almost with the breathing, I felt almost like I was going up and down in waves. It was really quite powerful. And whenever you talked about obviously putting your hand on your heart, which I would do at times in these sessions, but I also today tried putting my hand on my stomach as well. And it just felt really, again, just very contained. I felt really held just by doing that, supported. And it was a really lovely sensation, even just holding yourself like that soothing touch in two places. But for me today, it was the breathing that really worked for me in terms of just helping, as you say, and as Ed had said, just to slow things down. And just to notice it. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it made me very aware of where I was holding tension today, which is in my shoulders and jaw a bit today. But I became more aware of that and just releasing that. Although it's relaxing, it's also energizing a little bit to actually let go of tension, isn't it? Because it's almost like it's slowing you down or tiring you to hold tension. And when you kind of let it go, that's a little bit energizing. So I could imagine maybe taking 5 minutes to do this before a meeting, or before you have to send a difficult email, or maybe before or after a client session that might be more difficult than usual. Even just 5 minutes of that, there's something that's quite energizing about letting go of the tension.
Yeah, I would hold a lot of tension around here as well, around my neck and upper back and shoulders. You don't realize how much you're holding yourself, so you don't. And even using soothing touch during those meetings, and I really use it a lot now, and it's something I wouldn't have done before. I'm much more of an in my head person than in my body person. Just naturally, it's kind of the way I am. So by deliberately kind of doing this, or folding my arms and kind of giving my side a rub or squeezing, it forces me to be a bit more in my body. It just helps me to feel a bit more grounded. It reminds me to, and I think as well, when I have my hand on my heart or whatever, when I'm with the people I'm working with, I'm also conveying to them that I have compassion for what they're saying as well. And I think people pick that up when they can see you doing that. It's hard to remember though, isn't it?
Absolutely, it can be. But as you said, Kira, you have it with you all of the time. There's something very empowering, isn't there, about that, that this is something, and I think it is, it's almost just reminding ourselves to do this, to take that time, to be compassionate to ourselves, take a few moments, because life is very, very busy. We've got a lot going on, both in work, out of work. And if we can be more compassionate to ourselves, I do believe it makes us better practitioners, in terms of the work that we're doing and the clients we're supporting. So that was a lovely, lovely exercise, Kira. Thank you for that.
What I've done sometimes to help me remember, as I say, because I don't remember this all the time, is I've drawn, like I wrote the letter C for compassion on my hand in the mornings, or I'll draw a wee tiny heart or something on my hand. And just every time I see that, it reminds me, because I'm just not naturally built this way. I'm probably more naturally towards the self-criticism. Self-compassion doesn't come naturally to me. It's something I have to practice and work at. And the more I do it, I suppose the better I get at it, but I don't always remember to do it. But that wee visual reminder can kind of help me throughout the day to keep me focused on it.
It's a great idea. I love that. That's brilliant.
And Kira, the more we do it, the more regular it comes, the more habitual it becomes. It becomes a healthy habit. And when we make those little deposits in our bank account, you're doing it regularly, but it takes deliberate effort. And I love that idea of a physical reminder.
Yeah.
But over time, you may not need that anymore. It becomes more natural.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think for me, one thing that's been very helpful for me is self-compassion when you actually need it most. So it's those times where you've maybe made a mistake, or you haven't handled something well, or you're having a really just stressful time, and your propensity is to give yourself a hard time. That's nearly when you need it more. It's not about using it when you've done a good job or when you're feeling great. It's for when you're just really, really struggling with something, that's when you need it most. So it's self-compassion, self-esteem is very much dependent on how you're doing and how well things are going, how good you are at something, whereas self-compassion doesn't rely on any of that. It's just there. And I really like that as well. So it's there for when things aren't going well.
Yeah. It's an interesting distinction, isn't it, for us to think about, as you say. It's and to use it at the times when we really need it.
Yeah.
I think when things aren't going well, that's when the temptation can be just to be in drive mode all the time. So it's like having the mindset that actually slowing down and doing something like this is also, is also productive and useful and healthy, rather than thinking you need to stay in drive and rush mode and just get everything done before you do something like this. You could do this in the middle or during or before.
Yeah, and at those really busy times is probably the best time to do it. Like, for example, I was saying to Sarah, like Monday, I've been off for a week. So Monday morning, the dread of all the emails and everything you have to deal with, and you're afraid to open your emails and everything. And I knew it was going to be a busy day. And I just thought, right, 10 minutes now is probably going to be worth, 10 hours later to me, so I just stopped, took a few deep breaths, felt my feet in the floor, bumming the seat back in the chair, grabbed a notebook and wrote down some helpful phrases, loving kindness kind of phrases to get me through the day, reminders, one thing at a time, Ciara, you can only do your best, don't run away from anything. Self-compassion is fierce. It's not about avoiding difficult things. It's about helping yourself to have the courage to deal with difficult things. So I wrote down about 6 or 7 wee phrases and just stuck it beside my computer. And, I might have been tempted to go, I haven't time to do that. Today's going to be really busy. But I really think that set me up for the rest of the day. And I kept coming back to those phrases throughout the day. And I think it was probably more productive as a result and happier,
Self-compassion in action. That's another great idea, Ciara. Really good idea. Absolutely. I have to take a note of that one as well. Thank you.
Yeah. So we're all going to practice a bit of soothing touch then.
Sounds good.
Brilliant. Okay. So this is us. This is probably staff, you're aware of the staff wellbeing helpline. We're open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. If you phone that number, I think if you don't get through, you can leave a voicemail and someone will get in touch with us. So it's psychological therapists working in the trust, supporting staff through COVID, because obviously there's been a lot of extra additional stresses around. So feel free to call this number.
Okay, and just a quick overview of our new staff psychological wellbeing service. This is a new initiative within the trust, and you can be referred by your line manager through to the occupational health service. It's a confidential service, and as you're triaged through, you'll be provided with support by either a psychologist or a psychological therapist for approximately 8 sessions. So again, we just want to highlight this service and to make people aware that it is available. We will also signpost people through to other services as deemed appropriate. So please do not hesitate to contact us if you feel that could be helpful.
And if anybody wants to find out any more about self-compassion, contact either Sarah or me. That's our trust email address there. We're hoping to do a few more of these. This is the second one we've done, so we're hoping to do a few more. And if anybody has any feedback, let us know whether they find it helpful or we should change something, please let us know. But thanks everybody for joining us, and thanks Sarah, Ed and Daryl as well.
Thank you, Ciara.
Thank you.
Take care everyone. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.